Hello everyone, this is Arda Cigin, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about how important attention and awareness dynamic is for meditation practice. When the mindfulness of a samurai warrior fails, he loses his life. When we lack mindfulness in daily life, something similar happens. We become so entangled in our own thoughts and emotions that we forget the bigger picture. Our perspective narrows and we lose our way. We do and say regretful things that cause needless suffering to ourselves and others. Mindfulness allows us to recognize our options, choose our responses wisely, and take control over the direction of our lives. It also gives us power to change our past conditioning and become the person we want to be. But what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is a somewhat unfortunate translation of the Pali word sati. It suggests being attentive or remembering to pay attention. This doesn't really capture the full meaning and importance of mindfulness. Even without mindfulness, I think that you can observe that we're always, one way or another, paying attention to something. But with mindfulness, we pay attention to the right things. We're being selective about it, and in a more skillful way we can focus on things. This is because having mindfulness actually means that you're more fully conscious and you're more fully alert than normal. As a result, our peripheral awareness is much stronger than before, and our attention is used with unprecedented precision and objectivity. By mindfulness, I specifically mean the optimal interaction between attention and peripheral awareness, which requires increasing the overall conscious power of the mind. To really grasp mindfulness, we first have to know what attention and peripheral awareness normally do. Each has a very different function, and they provide two distinct kinds of information to the mind, but they also work together. Attention has a very specific job. It picks out one object from the general field of conscious awareness, then analyzes and interprets that object. It is the faculty of attention that helps us discern between conflicting pieces of information. For instance, is that a snake in the road or just a piece of rope? Once an object of attention has been identified and analyzed, it can now be further examined and reflected on, responded to by awareness. In order for this process to happen quickly and effectively, attention turns all of its objects into concepts or abstract ideas. Attention translates our raw experience of the world into terms we can more easily understand, which we can then organize into a picture of reality. Peripheral awareness, on the other hand, works very differently than attention. Instead of singling out one or two objects for analysis, it involves a general awareness of everything our senses take in. Peripheral awareness is only minimally conceptual. It's relatively open and inclusive, as well as holistic. It's concerned with the relationships of objects to each other. Peripheral awareness allows us to respond more effectively by giving us information about the background and the context of any given experience. Where we are, what's happening around us, why is this happening? For instance, not mistaking the rope for a snake, since we're in Alaska and it's winter. So when the context kicks in, you realize that, wait a second, there's no reason for a snake to be there. It's just a rope. That is the awareness component. We all have the experience of focusing on a task singularly and very intensely. From common meditation wisdom, you might think developing an exclusive state of intense concentration is what meditation is ultimately all about. However, this is only a part of the picture. For all beginner meditators, mindfulness collapses if you narrow down attention strongly and forcefully. You become frustrated very quickly. This is one of the fundamental reasons why you still experience distractions and sleepiness while trying to be more mindful, even after years of meditation. Now, I want you to imagine watching an amazing movie, playing an amazing video game, reading an interesting book. You might think, wow, This is exactly what I need in my meditation. I need to singularly focus and block everything else out. And by doing so, I will get into a flow state. So I just need to figure out a way to stabilize my attention, and I will become a master mindfulness meditator. Now, even though I understand the intention here, this is a mistaken assumption. Attentional stability is only one part of the picture. Awareness and mindfulness development is the second, more important part. Zen masters all give the same advice for beginner meditators. Focus your attention on an object and redirect your attention back to the object when your mind wanders. Well, what is so magical about stabilizing attention to an object, like the breath for instance? The reason is simple. You can't have good peripheral awareness while your attention bounces all over the place, like in daily life. By stabilizing attention, it is now out of the way, so that you can now develop strong peripheral awareness. That is the main strategy. Now you can use this greater awareness to stabilize the attention even more. It's a self-fulfilling cycle that is left out in many meditation instructions. Focus on the breath, they say. Yes, but to what end? People can spend years directing and then redirecting attention to the breath with very little to show for it. When attention is stabilized to the breath, you need to train your mind to explore the rest of your mind, rest of your body, and rest of your sensory experience with sensory clarity and awareness. This is why it is so important to distinguish between attention and awareness. If you blur the lines, you lose clarity and mindfulness, which then results in mind wandering and sleepiness. So, what are the differences between attention and awareness? Awareness is holistic, relational, and contextual. Attention, on the other hand, isolates and analyzes. Awareness filters all incoming information, whereas attention selects information from awareness. Awareness acts as a watchful alert system, whereas attention hones in on objects and analyzes them. Awareness requires less processing but has quicker response, whereas attention requires more processing, consequently a slower response. Awareness is less personal and more objective. Attention is more self-centered. And finally, both attention and awareness can be introspective and extrospective. Everything that we think, feel, say, or do from one moment to the next, who we are and how we behave, all ultimately depend on the interactions between attention and awareness. Cultivating mindfulness can change everything we think, feel, say, and do for the better. It can actually transform who we are. So, why aren't we naturally more mindful? Why does mindfulness have to be cultivated? Well, there are two main reasons. First, most of us have never really learned to use peripheral awareness effectively. Second, we don't have enough conscious power to sustain mindfulness, especially at the times we need it at most. The first of these problems is awareness deficit disorder. This means a chronic lack of awareness due to overusing attention, which we do so in daily life. Most people overuse attention because it's under direct conscious control, but awareness is not. Awareness arises automatically in response to external or internal stimuli, and it's easy to neglect. Consistently neglecting awareness in favor of attention eventually stunts the faculty of awareness. In meditation, where other distractions are minimized, we can learn to use awareness effectively and become skilled at using attention and awareness together in harmony. Now, the second problem is developing raw mental power. This is a part that often gets overlooked. Without this increase in power, you won't get very far in cultivating mindfulness in daily life. You will still find yourself losing mindfulness when you need it at most in daily life, when you're off the cushion interacting with other people, doing stuff. For example, if your partner had a bad day at work and complains to you about the food you made, it takes a lot of mindfulness to maintain an objective awareness that recognizes the real cause of the complaint. But when strong emotions take hold, all of your energy pours into hyper-focused attention as you go into fight or flight mode. Your awareness fails, your attention hones in on the criticisms as a personal attack. Sustained mindfulness in this circumstance requires a consciousness that's more powerful than usual. Think of consciousness as a limited power source. Both attention and awareness draw their energy from this shared source. With only a limited amount of energy available for both, there will always be a trade-off between the two. When your attention focuses intensely on an object, the field of conscious awareness begins to contract, and peripheral awareness of the background fades. Intensify that focus enough, and the context and guidance provided by awareness disappears completely. In this state, awareness can no longer ensure that attention is directed to where it's most necessary and beneficial. This is like wearing blinders or having tunnel vision. We simply don't have enough conscious power to continue to be aware of everything else in our surroundings while focusing intently on an object. This is a problem that we can solve. This is always a problem in situations where attention drains our conscious capacity, such as during an argument or in an urgent problem or when falling in love. Here's a very practical example. Do you experience the moving sensations on your left foot's toe while you're watching Inception? An adept meditator can do this. They can experience the body fully while also engaging in the movie. Body awareness is only the first step. They can do all this and also examine their minds, habits, and mental reactions as they're watching the movie. As a beginner meditator, you're singularly focused on watching Inception, which is a fantastic movie, trying to follow the sequences of events. But awareness is fully collapsed. You are not aware of the body's sensations. You are not aware of the mind's reaction to the movie. By meditating consistently, you increase the conscious power of your mindfulness so that you can be fully focused on an object, like the movie, while you're fully aware of the changing sensations in your body and mind. Here's a very important last tip from me. Do not do this most deceptive beginner mistake. When you focus your attention on the breath, stop redirecting attention back and forth between the breath sensations and distractions. This is the most important modification that you need to make as you're starting this spiritual journey. For instance, you're focusing on the breath, and then a thought comes up, distracts you, and then you're back to the breath. And then you're trying to experience your legs, and then you go back to the breath. This is not the sort of dynamic I'm talking about. It's a dangerous habit the mind can use to deceive itself. This is intentional attention movement. You need to maintain the stability of attention first on the breath. While attention is on the breath, now you can start to experience the rest of the body with awareness. You can focus fully on the breath while feeling the legs, while feeling your body, while being aware of thoughts. And this is the key modification that you need to make in order to progress deeper on the spiritual path. Alright everyone, that's it for me today. Hope you got value from this episode. Whenever you're ready, I'll see you in the next episode. If you're interested in learning more about these topics, click the link below in the description to head over to my website. I have a comprehensive video course on Stoic psychology and Buddhist meditation. I also publish blog posts and send free daily emails for subscribers. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and a comment down below. And as always, thank you for watching.